Hey, Steve Beecham here for another installment of Local Rock Stars. And today we got local rock star Louie soon. You may know him if you've been to downtown Alpharetta. He has South Main Kitchen, and he has Butcher and Brew, and there's some other things in the works and stuff. And so Louie's been nice enough to let us interview him, and we want to find out a little bit about what Louie's thinking. We want to find out a little bit about his new concepts, and we want to kind of understand how he kind of got into all of this. And so Louie, first thing I want to ask you is, tell us a little bit about how you kind of got started in the restaurant business.
Well, I got started in the business about 15 years ago. I started with the idea of this is what I want to do, and I knew if this is the path I was going to choose, I had to give it 150%. So I chose this business about 15 years ago, and I started from the bottom, serving, bussing, taking care of tables.
Where were you when you were doing that?
I started in Florida. I started working for Longhorn.
Yeah.
I started as a host, bartender, I did the whole shebang there. I started when I think I finished there in 2000, I'm not exactly correct, but I think it was 2008 I stopped there. I went back to school, got a culinary degree. Also got a food.
While you were working?
While I was working, I got a food and beverage degree. Yeah, it was a complete dedication, 100% dedication towards because I know I want to become the best in this. So I went back to school, got my degree, came up here, and started working in 2009. Started working for Salt Factory in downtown Roswell.
Yeah.
Also Little Alley, kind of running their joints for them, taking care of them, helping learn the business, and then opened up South Main Kitchen in 2013.
So you don't just go from working in somebody's restaurant to open up South Main Kitchen, because you got to have money, you got to have people. Tell us about that. So.
No, first, and I say this before the money, first have the dedication and have the heart, and ready to dive into this business, I think money is important, clearly, because you can't do without money, but if you don't have the right set of tools to be successul.
People will come with you with money if they think you're a winner, right?
Yes.
Is that what you found?
I believe so. I believe if you feel like, if I do business with that guy, I got a good chance of
making it,
because this is a very finical business as is, So having that dedication and want to be the best is first, obviously clearly decide this is the industry that you want to be in for the rest of your life, because this is not a part-time gig. This is a lifer. I'm a lifer in this business. So getting there was the most important part. After that, going out there and making contacts, connections, talking to people, talk to a couple of individuals, and I was able to choose the investor that I wanted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So being the best is believing in yourself,
yes,
right?
You have to, yes.
But then how do you know that this concept that you've got this vision of is going to work? How do you convince an investor that, hey, I want to go to this spot, now this is the food I want to serve, and this is the feel?
And Steve, that's a hard one, because you really have to. First of all, you gotta have determination to believe in yourself, and he's got to believe in
you. You got to believe in it first,
and I have to believe it. He has to believe in the individual, because if you're a young individual that's starting off a restaurant, coming up with all kinds of spreadsheets and formulas, which I can generate right now after opening 2 restaurants, it's easy. But beforehand, you just
4 at that time.
Yes. But at the end of next year, I'll have 5 of them open. But in the beginning, you have to have someone that actually believes, and they've seen your track record. And my investor, both of them, I've known for over 6-7 years. And they've come to familiar with me. So building a relationship is probably one of the most important things.
So relationships are critical, because a lot of people don't understand that you can't go anywhere in life without relationships.
You have to build a relationship, yes.
And then when you get in business, you got to build a relationship with customers too,
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay, but I want to try to figure out, though, how do you decide what the concept's going to be? What the foods you're going to serve and how it's going to look. How do you figure that out?
And I'll tell you how. This is the way I look at it. When you have a concept, because I went to college and I had this concept that I created, I realized that you have to first look at the location. Where it is you're going to do business. Pay attention to who your clientele is.
So big location first, maybe?
Yes, absolutely. Because you might have a great concept that might not fit in that location.
Yeah, okay.
So you first pick the location, and then you develop a concept around the location.
Based on the geographics.
Based on the geographics, and if you have all the tools behind yourself, as the education, the hard work, you know, the nut and grind, dealing with the server, doing all the stuff that people don't see, how you don't get credit for. If you got all that, and you got a good location, and then you can, I mean, it's, and if you, after 15 years doing this, you know.
So what's your concept on how you deal with employees? Who you hire, how you hire? How do you view that?
It's about relationships. You know, the when I hired my entire staff in the beginning, you know, I'm a keen person on treating people good. You know, I want people to come into my place, so I've tried to create a culture where, you know, if you dine in my restaurant, you should feel me sit next to you. Mm-hmm. You know, because I treat them a certain way. I make sure that I take care of my staff. I focus on people. Actually, like I said, it's building relationships. Not only building relationships with my investors, but building relationships with my staff as well.
Right.
Understanding who I am and what I stand for. You know, and that's a big thing in my industry.
So how do you train for culture, or how do you get them to feel what your opinion is on how they should handle things?
Transparency.
So how would you?
Transparency. I show them everything. You know, there's no, because, you know, this can be a very semi-secretive industry, which I don't understand why, but I tell them, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm getting it from. You know, this is how I'm doing it.
This is where we make money. This is where we're just giving it to them. And
yeah, they see it all. All the managers, they all know where exactly we are. So this is a group effort. We're collectively building my restaurant group. I'm not building it. I've stopped building it 2 years ago. It's my team that's making me build it to the next level. It's the relationships that they've created with me and other vendors that allow me to start building my restaurant group.
So now, are you taking any of those people that have been with you in these restaurants and now moving them to the next restaurants? Are they getting a chance to rise up in some cases?
They're the ones that again, to encourage me to grow, because they want to grow.
Oh, that's awesome.
So when they want to grow, then I have to open up more spots. You know, so it's really the people encouraging me, you know, just by their dedication to, like, okay, I want to do whatever I can to help you and this group, because I like what you guys do over here, to take it to the next level. And so we hire from within, and we transfer. You'll start as a server, key holder, manager, sous chef. You start line cook, sous chef, executive chef. You know, I've had staff that started me in the restaurant business. It's a rarity, but I've had a few staff that have been with me since day one. You know, so it's a good vibe that we've created, and collectively we've created together. You know?
Yeah. So how would you explain to somebody the difference between South Main and Butcher and Brew? If they were on the street out front and they couldn't decide which one to go in, how would you explain that to somebody?
Sure. South Main Kitchen is a kitchen-inspired venue. So it's a twist on Southern food. So it's very it's farm to table. You know, it's more of a dining experience. You know, we have a cocktail program, a dessert program. You know, the menu's completely lined out. Everything is made from scratch. You know, and it's more of like a dining kind of experience. The full twist of the South. You know, I call it. You know, and then Butcher and Brew. To me, it's a high-end sports bar. You know, good beer, sandwiches, TVs. Mm-hmm. I got a couple options for the ladies as well. Just we have some bowls, salads, so a small selection of wine. So I think we encompass what we need, you know, in this area to kind of cater to both.
So they're different, and they're two different. You can go to one night and the other the next night,
and you wouldn't even know that they're related. And everything, like South Main Kitchen, everything in Butcher and Brew is also made from scratch. So you're getting the highest quality of ingredient when you sit at that table at both restaurants.
Super. So tell me about, so you've got a new concept going across the street here in downtown Alpharetta.
Yep.
And then I think you just told me you've got one going at
Exit 12.
Exit 12. Okay. So tell me about those two restaurants.
All right.
And when they'll be open.
Lapeer is projected to open in November 1st. Lapeer is a seafood market. It's going to be like South Main Kitchen. We're going to focus on fresh vegetables, you know, sourcing ingredients, and then we're going to get all line caught fish from the Gulf, from Florida, shrimp from Florida, and the tip of Long Island, Montauk. So we have also out of Rhode Island. So we're going to source all of our fish from local guys at the port. so we can get it.
So farm to table, but seed to table.
Seed to table, if you want to call it that way, yes. You know, and the inside is going to be kind of like a little chic casual, you know, very relaxing, because I'm originally from the Caribbean. Yeah. So I don't like to, I like it to keep it simple. But
well, then you ought to know about seafood if you're from the Caribbean.
I am from the Caribbean, so I know.
Which island?
I was born in Curacao and raised in St. Martin. Yeah. So
awesome.
I'm a Dutch guy.
The Dutch, not French, right in Tucson?
Although I don't have the blonde hair and the blue eyes, which you all apparently have more than I do. But I'm originally from the Caribbean, yeah. So I like a laid-back lifestyle. All
right, so seafood, and that's going to be where in downtown?
That's going to be right across the street from South Main Kitchen, which is the Alpharetta City Center.
Okay.
Which is there. They should be. I mean, I think they have about half the restaurants opening in June.
So if I'm facing City Hall from South Main, it's going to be on the left or the right?
If you're facing City Hall, it's going to be on your left-hand side.
Left-hand side.
Yeah, left-hand side. It's going to be a little white. Looks like a old white church.
So that's those two little white buildings that are.
No, it's going to be the one on the left.
To the left of that.
Yeah, left of that. Yeah.
Would it be on Main Street or just behind?
They actually call it North Broad Street. It's called North Broad Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how big? About the same size as these?
That's about 3,000 square feet, and we got about 1,000 square foot patio. I'm working right now, and I'm pretty sure it's kind of we figured out we're gonna have a solarium. So basically, the only solarium that you're gonna have in the state of Georgia, where you can basically eat outside in the winter and still feel like you're inside.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's something different that nowhere that I think that has that in the state of Georgia. So I'm excited about that one too as well.
So that's going to be expensive to put in a really nice solarium.
It is going to be, yes. This is going to be a top-notch seafood restaurant.
Sweet. All right, then the next location.
The next location is Exit 12, Halcyon. I'm part of their project. I'm opening Butcher Brew number 2.
Okay.
And Tocayo. So Butcher Brew, the concept I already talked about.
Right.
That's going to be open up there. And then we're going to open up Tocayo, which is a taco stand. Yes.
So real casual.
Real casual. It's a stand. They have a food court section. And I love tacos. My chef, Andy Long, loves tacos. So, I mean, it was like a no-brainer for us. It was 640 square feet. You know, we want to... And this is a concept that I want to roll out eventually into a more of a bigger location.
Yeah.
But so we want
as a bigger store.
Yeah, like a full-on store. Like go to right now 640, so we want to go to maybe 2,000 or.
So will it be like Mexican or Tex-Mex?
Yeah, it's Mexican. It's authentic Mexican tacos.
Sweet.
Authentic Mexican tacos.
And so that'll be really like just several employees. It won't be a lot, and there won't be any enclosed dining on that.
No, that's just it's in a food court.
Kind of like food court.
It's in a food court. You know, we'll have our little stall. You know, and we'll start Tocayo there, and then we'll have the Butcher and Brew also.
So how did you come up with those two concepts?
Butcher and Brew.
No, the
seafood.
Lapeer.
I came with Lapeer. First thing, remember I told you have to understand where you are,
right?
Once you start a concept.
Okay.
So when I decided when the opportunity was given me to open a restaurant over there, I focused on what we have and what we don't have up in Alpharetta. That's going to set me apart from everybody else. You know, and I'm a foodie and I love food. You know, and I eat out a lot. You know. And I've eaten up every place up here in Alpharetta, Roswell, Dunwoody, and there's nothing up here that has what I want to bring to the table.
So it makes you unique, and that's big. And so that's going in. That seems like the return on investment's good because you got something unique.
Yeah, I believe so. And with the times that they've changed, a lot of the seafood restaurants they have currently right now, they're not to say they're outdated.
Yeah.
You know, but they need.
They're not updated.
They're updated.
Okay.
So, and I want to bring something a little fresh.
All right. So what I want to ask is, you telling me that you kind of went back to school and you just kind of kicked in. Was there something that was going on in your life where you were doing something and said, a light switch came on, or something that said, hey, I want to be somebody, I want to be the best? I mean, what made that happen for you?
There are a couple things that happened in I guess you could say, in my life. My niece was born, Isabella soon, and when she was born, I was like, you know, I'm a late bloomer in life. I had to figure out what it is I wanted to do. And I know that learning from past experiences and watching other people around the world, the ones that focus on one thing and do it 150%, their chances of being successful are higher than the rest. That dive in about 50% of it.
Right.
You know. So I decided then for my niece, and I also decided then that if I was going to do this, I was going to do only this, and do that for the rest of my life. And that was a dedication that took 15 years ago that I had to decide on that spot. and not vary, and I have not varied ever since.
So did you have that decision that it was going to be the restaurant business, and then you went forward about doing it, or were you still trying to figure out what business it was going to be?
No, it was restaurants.
So what made you?
I love food. I love people. I love music. I love putting them all together in one place.
And that gives you that.
Yeah, and that gives me. I mean, if a guy sits down, if you go to my bar, and you have a Coca-Cola, and you eat one of our South Main Kitchen burgers, and you look at the bartender and says, "My God, that was the best burger I had in my life." That's all the fulfillment I need.
That's what you look for.
That's what I want. That's what I want. It's simple as that.
So what's your purpose? What do you bring? What do you think you bring to the world? Why do you think you're here?
Well, that you have to ask God. You have to ask him what he says on that.
Why do you think he's got you here?
I think he's got me here to, one of my knacks is to recognize talents. I recognize talent. I recognize if.
So you get excited about these people that are working for
Yes.
you and seeing them grow.
Seeing them grow. Andy Long is my culinary director of building relationships. I've known him for over 9 years, and we've been in contact. And he's been a genuine good guy from the minute I met him. And over the last 9 years, we kept in touch and talked. And 2.5 years ago, he joined me full time, and now I'm the front of the house, he's the back of the house. But it's just finding people that have that talent, that extra spark.
Yeah.
That extra personality.
It factor.
That little it factor. So you gotta have that too. You gotta have and in this business you have to be well traveled as well. You have to be well traveled. I do recommend to see as much as you can before you decide what it is you want to do. Because if you just go in it knowing, well, this is what I like. Well, I mean, no
Not
respect.
everybody likes
what you like. So you have to know in order to deliver. And that's one of the things that I've done all my entire life because of where I grew up and where I'm from. I've been traveling since the age of 4 years old, which has worked to my benefit. I've traveled everywhere in the world. I've seen so many different things. I've hanged out with so many different cultures. I can hang out and I can play golf, or I can go to the beach and hang out. I'm just a versatile individual. Yeah.
So how do you? One of the things I'm into is how people talk to themselves. I believe the conversation that you're having with yourself is critical. And I find that a lot of people are having negative conversations, or people aren't even really having conversations. But I find that highly successful people kind of have certain phrases or certain things that they say to themselves when they run into a situation, or when they're trying to get going, or they're trying to solve a problem. Do you have anything that kind of keeps popping up in your mind that's kind of your little saying?
Yes, I guess I can say, what I say is I know that I'm doing everything 100%.
Because you kept alluding to 150, so you're really focused on making sure you're all in.
I'm all in. I made sure that no matter all my T's are crossed, all my I's are dotted. From the places that you don't even see, from our office that we have up here, it's just like my restaurant downstairs. Every corner is well thought of.
That's awesome.
100%. So, thank you, Louie, for coming and being with us today and helping us out and giving some words of inspiration. I hope you'll go visit his 2 restaurants that are open, and his 2 new ones, or 3 new ones actually, that are going to be opening. And that concludes our last edition of Local Rock Stars.
Thank you.
That was awesome.